And again, the idea when we were working on it never was to be a building like that. And so neither here nor there, it's there. So we do have to work. I agree we need a marketing director. We need a marketing director that we let market the facility, not take orders from certain members of the council, or but let them do their expertise in marketing it, getting the people out there. Right now, I don't feel that we should be spending $200,000 or more on a sign until we figure out exactly how we're going to do that out there. A sign is great. We could go a smaller version of it, something to that degree. But again, that is going to be our biggest obstacle as a city council. As mayor, I won't be voting on anything unless there's a tie. And believe me, I will vote if there is a tie. But we've got to look at who's going to offer the most bang for our buck out there to market it, get it going, get the problems taken care of, and it won't be an overnight answer. But we can do it as a council, like we've all agreed, if we work together and really look at the numbers. We would love a wonderful paved parking lot. We would love a wonderful sports facility, and we may get that in time. Well, we don't have the money for it right now. So let's market what we have, let's make some money off of that, and then go to the next step.
All right, we really need to figure out what we want. Do we want an event center, or do we want a community center out there? We don't need the sign. We do need divider walls in that building. So if we do have an event center, we can have breakout rooms, or we can have 3 conventions going on. The convention center, we can't have overnight conventions in this town. We don't have enough beds. You know, we got 150 to 200 beds. But if we have 3 small rooms that we can rent them out, we could have 1 small convention, maybe 2, and do some of the beds. We do need a good person out there to manage it. And I believe Tony was being paid, Daniel, correct me, part of it was by the city and part of it was by the hotel motel tax. And he was a good multi-purpose position. But I understand money, but I believe we should have kept that position, and I said that at the meeting. We really need to sit and study and see where we want to take that place. We do have a all-city youth program out there that's using it. We do need to expand something more like that. Get the YMCA, beg the YMCA, beg the Boys and Girls Club, whatever we got to do to get people to come out there. But there again, it can't happen overnight. But there's definitely will have to be some changes out there.
We've had some very good ideas from everybody here. Still, a lot of the problems happen from pure politics. You had some really good people trying to run it, organize it, but it seems like politics always gets in the way. We need to kind of grow up, hire somebody that can take this community center forward. It's going to take a lot of work, but you know, everybody has good opinions, very smart people here, and but my biggest thing of watching it happen is just been the politics. Let somebody take over, trust them. When you're hiring somebody, get the best person you can afford. Let him run it, and kind of keep your fingers out of it. Let this man or woman, whoever runs it, have their chance to do it, and back off. Let this person do it. There's a lot of good ideals. Give them some type of way to, you know, some guidance, but leave the politics out. And I think that'd be one of our best ways to, you know, get this thing moving forward. But that'd be our best deal.
Okay, first of all, let me say I'm not going to go into personnel matters because all the people sitting up here aren't privileged to the employment information. But let me say that, let me give you some history on the building. It was opened in 2010. We had a very successful event in 2010. We had a very successful event in 2011. We had Johnny Lee famous country artist in 2011. In 2012, and keep in mind, like someone said here, events are put together with hotel motel tax. Not your property tax dollars, but hotel motel tax. In 2012, again, when the mayor changed and the council changed, the council stopped spending hotel motel tax. Okay, so there was no funding to bring any events out there. And some members of those council are here in this audience with us today. They stopped that hotel motel tax. So for 2 years, 2012, 2013, and into 2014, there was basically no big events out there. When I was elected back again in 2014, we started bringing more events out there. We opened up the purse for hotel motel tax, sponsored events like the Balloon Fest, sponsoring Peanut Festival, and sponsoring other gala type events. But the biggest problem I see is not necessarily a person to be in charge of the building. I see the biggest problem is our own community. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. And what I mean by that, we've had major artists come to Floresville, world-renowned people. For instance, Ray Price. Ray Price, a country legend that would fill up any hall across the United States. When he comes to Floresville, because there is so much division, so much animosity, we welcome that legend with less than 200 people here in Floresville. Johnny Lee, same thing, probably 150 people. Kevin Fowler came to Floresville. He had the #1 hit in Texas music when we brought him here. About 200 people. But then we bring a Tejano artist and we sell out. So when we make business decisions, sometimes you have to look at those factors. And then we start a policy of a BYOB. And then it only applies to Floresville. Whoever made that decision, whether it was a 4A board, whether it was a marketing manager, we couldn't bring alcoholic beverages into the building. But the show barn allows it, the VFW, any other hall in the county is allowed it. But when it comes to Floresville, it stopped.
Thank you. This question is directed at the mayor candidates only. I'm going to actually share this. When the candidates who are before you and those who are not were invited to participate, the opportunity was offered to present any responses to the questions in writing that could be read into the presentation this evening. Those were not given to us, so I can't actually provide them for you. So we only have one mayor's candidate. So the question is, please outline your understanding of the role of mayor as outlined in the city charter and how you plan to fulfill it.
The mayor's role is really, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and read it. From Section 73 of the Local Government Act of 1989. And it states that the mayor's role, however, extends well beyond officiating at council meetings or other municipal proceedings. Additional important roles are providing leadership, promoting positive relationships, and modeling good governance. And as I kept reading down the list of the items that they wrote for a mayor's responsibility, this came to mind after going to meetings for the last 8 months. The mayor also has considerable influence in establishing standards of good governance, behaviors, and ethics. As the leader of the council, the mayor has an important formal role to play in promoting good conduct and managing poor conduct. That includes citizens and council members. I would love to be your mayor for the city of Floresville, to be able to work with local organizations, bring them back together, the Chamber of Commerce, the Lions Club, the 4A groups, and I mean the kids, and not the 4A group with the city. It has been embarrassing to invite people to the city of Floresville, and they drive up on 181 and the grass is overgrown, there's trees falling down. If they mow it down to the ground, they don't weed eat, they don't clean up. Or when relatives come into the city of Floresville and they want to go to pay their respects at the cemetery, and you have to go through so many potholes and get hit by tree branches and the grass and the weeds and the ants. The pride in Floresville has been gone, has been left. And as your mayor, I encourage council members to get out and visit with people. Anytime there's an event, please go as council members. Council members represent the city. There's so many ways of helping the city without it costing a dime. So many organizations, so many groups that want to go out. You just put them together and you organize them. Working with the county, working with all the cities around us. For instance, Diana Garza wanted to decorate downtown so badly, and she did everything she could. We could have used a bucket truck to help in so many situations. The light company was limited, but Poth had one. So anyway, I want to be your mayor, to represent everybody, to get out there. They'll be sick of me in many cases, but I will be there for you. And I hope that you can support me in doing this. Let's bring some pride back to Floresville.
I'm going to give each of you a chance to just stretch for a few minutes if y'all would like to as well, and then we'll actually enter the next part of our forum, which is the unprepared questions. And we'll also review the ones in the basket. If there's anyone who has a question, again, there's a basket at the back and pens if you would like to actually write down a question, and we'll include those in the next portion of our forum. Thank you. 10 minutes.